Okay, good morning. Welcome back to Day Trade Like a Pro. It is Monday, April 12th, and we're looking at the S&P 500 here today, and it's about 5 minutes before the open. So this is going to I'm sure we're going to go into the open here, just starting off with. So let's do a really quick, just kind of bring you up to speed on where things are. We said on uh, Friday during the at the end of the day, if you go back and watch the review in the map service, I said that 21 would be high enough for the time being. Actually, just so we can, if you want to see right here, we said um, that 21 is plenty high for this part right here. Might just be for 14 or 19 to start off, but eventually back to 04. And if you look at what happened overnight, uh, let's see. So right to begin with, it came back to 10 and a half, and then things change a bit overnight. But then the low of the pullback during Globex is right here. If you can see that, it's 04 half. So that pullback came back to 04 half and it held. So let's look at a couple of things here. So for higher, there's a couple of things that are going to be important right away. So I'm going to just bring this up to keep the all-time high marked, which is 2150. So anytime something like this, we're up into new all-time high territory, I'm going to look at a couple of things here. So this first, if we go back to Friday, we had 2150 that was relatively important. Today it's, or sorry, 2050, so 20 half. Today it's probably more like just 20 and 22. So this is an area really between here up to this 22 quarter. That's an area I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on. If it does break that, we do have the CP up here, which is 2750. If you're new to prediction points, we're expecting the market to go from blue line to blue line. That's the overall theory. This is a indicator we have that's called key turns, and key turns is up here at 31 and 34. And so I do anticipate that if they're able to take out this 22 quarter area, then we're going to get a push up to at least here, maybe even somewhere in between these. We then need to see, so this is really for the pre-market here. We then need to see going, a bit later what would happen, what that opens up. We have the KP up here at 4250, but then look at how this thing opens up to 4175. Or sorry, 4170. So this is obviously drawing that uh, the fibs in between the prediction points when there's that big gap like that, nearly a 30-point gap. So I'm not going to talk too much about that because it starts to get a little bit trickier going later into the day. So I want to focus on this morning and what we're looking for this morning. So this has already been tested right here at 11 half, so I don't love another buy off of this. We have this CP down here at 09 half, and then they could probe through this just a little bit, maybe let's say down to this. So first area would be down to this 08, and then maybe let's call it 06 half. And then we could see kind of like a double bottom or probe below the low just a little bit at 04. And then this would be a pullback. And in our vocabulary, a pullback would be for buying. So that's really that 08 any of those are really fine. OA, O6 half, O4, any of those are really fine. In a perfect world scenario, O4 holds and they move higher. And we do need to talk about, since we don't always live in a perfect world scenario, when I say O4 holds, I mean anything above that holds. Okay, it doesn't have to come back there. I'm just telling you how far it could come back. So not at all impossible that they come back to O2 half. This is where they kind of took off from here. So not at all impossible they come back to here. I believe, yeah, this was the all-time high for a moment. And so not at all impossible that they come back and test that. Less ideal, but still not impossible. And with all the strength this market's had, we probably do need to give it that room. And then could come back down to this 97.75. Now, below 97.75, let me show you what happens. So look how this opens up below here. So I'm not going to talk about the whole day because it just gets too tricky for, going into the whole day. So let's just talk about the open here, especially on a day like today, as things could change quite a bit. I saw and I posted in our Discord channel, the Bank of America put out some research that they've done that in the last 5 months, so in the last 5 months, there has been more money put into the market than there has been in the last 12 years. So at some point, somebody's going to get left holding the bag. I don't know when that will be exactly, but we'll be ready whenever that is going to come into play. So a couple of things here. So if they do, technically, the best way I could say it, and especially let's say if you were a MAP member, the best way I would tell you is that below O4 is really a breakdown. We could see potentially a probe down to here and maybe not to this KP at O2 half and not call it a breakdown unless that breaks, but that's technically a break. Now, because we're giving it, because it's been so strong and there's still more room to the upside, we're going to give it this extra bit down to here, but that better be it. And if that is not it, and it better get right back up above that 04, 05 area, and if that doesn't happen and they can't take that out and take out these CPs, and that ends up holding for lower, then we're coming back here. This would be 74 quarter, and we're coming back to 74 quarter. Okay? And if they take that out, bit of a probe down to maybe 70, and then things start to open up a bit more back down to, let's see, yeah, let's just call it back down to this. So something like this would be around the midpoint 60 area, something like that. So there you have it. The market is open. There's they kind of stalled out right here. We need to get back up above this if we're going to really get out of the, I still don't even know that that gets us out of the woods for a deeper pullback. But coming back down into this, like, let's at least call it that OA area, um, that seems like a pretty, I mean, the market's just been so strong, maybe we just don't get that, but at some point they're going to want to come back and tag something just a little bit lower. Could end up being in the afternoon, it moves up over time, but for this morning here, what I'd like to see is a little bit deeper pullback, that 08, 06 half area. But I'm telling you, if they break this 97 area, then look out. If they break 04 and they aren't able to get back up above 04, then look out. We're going back down to 74. I don't know that that's enough to change anything in the big picture, but it's certainly enough to change things for today. So there you have it. Trade it one step at a time today. Take it as it comes, as the market shows its hand, and then we'll be back and we'll review and we'll look at what happened today and how you could have treated it. And we will see you in the review video today.